Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. It is 12:02 Eastern Time. So, y'all, I wanted to come on and just kind of give my thoughts about um, Narry's ex-wife interview on the Rum Ram Trucker um, channel. So, y'all, before we get started, go ahead and share the live and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you have not. Let's talk about it. Let's be honest about everything. Y'all know as much as I um, love Alicia Kim and how much I will defend uh, the nonsense that Boo is doing. I am also a advocate for us if we say that we are Christians, that we operate in that way. I'm not talking about perfection, but I'm talking about responsibility and accountability. And so I want to talk about, like I said, I really want to discuss what that interview, what I felt about that interview, and then I'll go into what I think about Alicia Kim in this situation, right, and the decision that she's made concerning this. So this is not about Boo. This is about her current situation. And like I said, make sure you guys go ahead and share the video. Go ahead, hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you have not. What's up, B Nation? Let's get into this video, y'all. So I'm not going to show any. I'm not going to actually show the interview. I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the things that was asked of her and how she responded. So one, Rum Ram the trucker asked her about her and any um, ex relationships, and she said it clearly that she has excellent relationships with both. I mean, with all of her exes. So that just tells me right there, no matter, and she didn't really get into any major details. She answered what was asked, but I'm a woman and I know the deal. Okay, so the bottom line is that she said that she's friends with all of her exes. Okay, no problem. Uh, but that still does not mean we don't have to prove that you are seeing somebody. I just want you to know um, that I don't buy this thing that you're not talking to any of your exes. Don't buy it at all. Don't have any proof of it, but I do not buy this thing that Crystal, Narry's estranged wife, is not talking to any of her exes, especially after she said she was cordial with them. Okay, so that's number one. So I believe that she is talking to an ex. Um, how the dynamics of the relationship, I don't know. But just because the mere fact that she says that she has great relationships with all of her exes tells me that she still talks to them. Okay. Let me repeat myself. The dynamic of that relationship, of those relationships, I don't know what it is. Okay. Number two, she also talked about she mentioned that marriage is important, covenant is important, that you got to be careful about getting involved with um, people that are married, and it shows the character. So I do agree with that, right? I most definitely do agree with that. But she's not being totally honest, because she even acted as an if she didn't really know when, at what point they were separated. You either together or you're not. So that tells me that they were not on the same page, and that there were issues in that marriage way long before Kim got involved. I know that just because of the fact that I was married before, and normally when someone else comes in at the time, it's really not that issue. Is that marriage had trouble before he moved out. She talked about how she got out of character um, because she had heard something that he was doing, and so she got out of character and ended up in jail, got arrested or whatever. And she didn't really get into a whole lot of details, but the fact that it was supposed to be expunged. The bottom line is that she got out of character, right? Because she emotionally was upset, and she did some things that she shouldn't have. A moment that she was not proud of. Okay. So guys, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video. So um, that tells me, first of all, just listening to her, I can tell she wants her marriage back. I don't know if anybody else picked that up, but I can tell she still wants to be married. She still wants to be married, and she still wants to be married to Narry. But see, this is my problem with that. Anybody that walks out on you, anybody that leaves you, anybody that says, I'm picking up and I'm leaving you don't sit around and wait on somebody to come back. That's especially with his type of background to where he has now 3 baby mamas. The one, I guess, before her or after her, and now Kim, right? Um, that dynamic in marriage, let me tell y'all something. Married people are messy. Okay. So it is difficult sometimes to really kind of navigate what's really happening. But I can tell you this, that marriage was in trouble way before Alicia Kim became a part of it. That I can tell you, right? And so she needs to be honest about that. That marriage, her marriage was in trouble prior to Alicia Kim. And the worst thing you can do, right, is not take accountability for the breakdown of your marriage. I don't care if you played 5% in it, 5% or 10%. You need to take accountability for the breakdown of your marriage. Period. Narry and this Crystal lady, his estranged wife, they are responsible for the breakdown of their marriage. Okay, period. There's no way around that. And that was before Alicia Kim came into the picture. Okay, so let's get that straight, right? And so what I don't fully understand is why is she here even on YouTube discussing that? I mean, she wasn't discussing it before. I mean, Alicia Kim is kind of, people know her from YouTube. So why is the estranged wife at this point coming out now for what? She doesn't need to clear her name from anybody. It's not necessary. She's not even in this technically, in the equation. The equation is that the fact that he is still legally married to her. But she doesn't need to be coming out giving no side of the story because this is not about her. I mean, she can. It's called free speech. But what was the point of her coming out to do what? Why does she want to involve herself into this? One of the reasons why she's involving herself into this because she still wants her husband. That's the first thing I picked up. I picked up the fact that she still wants her husband when I listened to the interview. I think she needs to let that go and move on. Right? So now this is the third child. And of Narry. And I will say this. As much as I like Alicia Kim, right? As much as I like her, I think this was a bad decision. That's just me. For you to be in a relationship with someone that's still married legally, I don't know whether there's a divorce going through. Now, if the divorce papers are already in the courts, that's something different, right? Because sometimes people just hold up divorces just to be nasty and that kind of stuff. But if divorce papers are not filed and they have been separate, she said he left the house, I think in April 2024. I think that marriage had way more problems before April 2024. He might have physically left, but that marriage had issues prior to him physically leaving the house. And I don't even have to know all the details of that, right? because people just don't necessarily, that happens, but it rarely happens. Things have happened prior to that they both have just ignored, or even she ignored, because she wanted her marriage, right? And I can still tell she does, which for me, like I said, is problematic, because why do you want to desire somebody that doesn't want you and that has clearly moved on and had another baby with someone else? Okay. Do I think Alicia Kim made the right decision getting involved with somebody else's marriage? I wouldn't have done it. I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just talking from off my head. People that are separated, they are still married. People that are estranged from their wives, they are still married. It brings a different dynamic when people are still married. And if divorce papers are not already in the courts and they have not settled that, y'all, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Because how you leave a situation is a good sign or a good pattern in how you will probably do the next one, unless something drastically changes. Let's just be honest about it. Like I said, I love Alicia Kim. I think what Boo is doing is wrong, but wrong is also wrong when you involve with someone else's husband. I don't care if they have been separated. You cannot put yourself in that situation to where now you got the wife coming out saying, I am the wife, and I can tell she still wants her marriage. So that's one of the reasons, whether she realizes or not, that's one of the reasons why she's out. Because it shouldn't be she shouldn't be getting involved in it. I wouldn't let the ex-husband that left me, I wouldn't be coming out on no YouTube talking about the woman he dating with no. Cause see, you left me, so I'm out. And if you left me, I'm gonna move on. And once I hear that you involved with somebody else and you have a baby, even if you don't file for the divorce, I'm gonna file for a divorce. Okay, so let's go back to let me kind of go back to Alicia Kim. That's not a good decision to make. That wasn't a smart decision, nor is God pleased with it. God is serious. Listen now, I'm bringing this in because Alicia Kim and Boo and all of them say they're Christians. Okay, God is not pleased when you are dating other people's spouses, especially when there is no divorce in sight, allegedly. And you should not be separated for so many years. I know what I'm talking about, okay? Because it just brings issues, it brings problems. And it's not a good look for a Christian to be involved with someone that is still legally married. I'm telling you, it just doesn't. And the circumstances could be it could be something that you fully understand. The circumstances could be legitimate. It still does not look good that this girl comes on. She gives off the impression that she still wants her marriage. So then now it looks like Alicia Kim inserted herself into their marriage. And that's probably what didn't happen. It is the ex-husband, it's the estranged husband that has probably told Alicia Kim that is over. But like I said, I'm not sure if there's any divorce papers that's in the court. I'm just telling y'all that this is not a good look as a Christian on Alicia Kim's part. I like her. I love her. But nobody comes before scripture. Nobody comes before what is right and what is wrong. And if you cannot discern, right? If you cannot if you cannot be honest with what this situation is, which is very messy, right? See, this is why when you go through, see, let me tell you something. This is why when you go through a divorce, you go through heartbreak, you really do need to take some time to get yourself together so you can make a right decision. So Alicia went from a divorce from a knucklehead, all and then got involved to me with another knucklehead. I'm just gonna be honest with you, just because of how he navigates his relationship. You don't have no three baby mamas, and you don't have no issues. Y'all got to be honest with this situation. Doesn't mean that you love her any less. I don't love her any less. I wish her well. I want her to do well. But you not gonna have three baby mamas and you don't have no issues as a man. That's just not reality. Because what that says to us, if you got three baby mamas, that is a pattern. It's no different than Boo being married 3 and 4 times. He didn't learn the lesson. There is a pattern with his behavior. It's the same thing with this guy, right? It's the exact same thing with this Narry person. See, and when you're not healed, you're not properly, and you don't fully understand how God feels about covenant, you make bad decisions, right? You don't make the best decision. This was not a good decision for Alicia Kim. I pray that the baby is blessed. I pray that she remains blessed. But you don't get yourself involved with a married man that has not taken care of his business first. Yeah, I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I experienced myself. I'm not somebody that just, oh, you can't judge her. This is no judgment. I'm coming from experience myself. I know what I'm talking about. You don't want to get involved in that. You don't want your name a part of that, especially as Christians. Let it be a lesson learned to all of you. When a man says he's separated, have you filed for divorce? When is the divorce final? When is the divorce final? When did you file it? Give me the case number. Okay. You know what I'm saying is that if divorce has not even when you're filing the divorce, you still need to be very careful in how the two of you navigate that situation because one of the partners is still married. And like I said, anybody that watched that interview with Crystal can clearly see she still wants her marriage. I'm just telling you, as a Christian, this is not a good look for Alicia. It is unfortunate. God is not into adultery. Now, y'all can play around with this, but that's not a game y'all want to play with the Lord. God is not into adultery because that's what this is. He's estranged, he's separated, he's not divorced. And I'm telling you, women, and I'm telling you, men, don't get involved with people that are still married. Let them take care of their business. It doesn't mean that you can't remain friends until you take care of that nonsense. But when you start trying to get involved romantically, you are headed for the scrutiny that Kim is in right now. To me, she left one bad situation and put herself in another one. And I think somebody should have advised her. You don't get involved with people that are still married because it's not a good look. And don't get me wrong, spouses be fighting and holding up divorces, so you can't move on, and they try to. I'm not saying that there's not certain circumstances that the other spouse makes it difficult to get the divorce. And there's a way to handle that. But if there's no divorce papers in the courts, then what is Narry doing? Why is it there is no, and what is that Crystal doing? She can come out here on YouTube talking about what she's not doing, but ain't no, but I don't see her filing for divorce. The man up and left you. Got a whole nother baby, brand new baby with a new lady. Why haven't you filed for divorce? I'm not understanding. The only reason why she has not filed for divorce yet because she still wants it. I'm not sure what Narry reason is, but this is a problem. And I'm telling you, y'all can say what you want to say. God is not pleased with you inserting yourself into someone else in the breakdown of their marriage. Listen, Kim is not responsible for it. Narry and Crystal is responsible for the breakdown of their marriage, but you don't get yourself involved in it until legally they have put them papers in the court and that divorce is on the way. I'm just saying to y'all, this is a sticky situation. And people be calling God name and stuff. Y'all got to stop that stuff. If you're going to make the decision, just make the decision, but keep God out of it. Because God don't commit adultery, and nor does he lead you to. That's just not what he does. Because that's what Narry has done, committed adultery. And obviously from Crystal's interview, he has been committing adultery for a while now. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. What is she waiting on to get a divorce? Because the Bible gives you the Bible gives you the out to leave your marriage when someone has committed adultery. Oh, is that what she said, Renee? That the paper, so they have filed for divorce. So that's a good thing. That's very good that they're actually in court getting the divorce. But from her interview on Rum Ram, she don't want to be divorced. I can tell it. How many of y'all women can tell that? Men can't tell it, but I can pick it up. She don't really want to be divorced. She hurt that he left. But my concern is that now Kim has to be very careful. Because a man with 3 baby mamas, and she's the third one, it's a pattern. Women, okay, you can listen to me, y'all. Women, listen to me. I know we can be emotional. I know how we love. But just because you love somebody don't mean you get to act ignorant about the truth about that person. You don't get to walk in denial as if you don't see the person for who they are. You don't get that's not what love is. Love doesn't blind you to the truth. There's some things you got to deal with. He's not going to have 2 baby mamas come to you and then all of boom, woof, kabuki. He's just so different. That's a lie. She is not being honest with herself, because when stuff hit the fan with them, he's going to do the exact same thing. The same way he exit this one, he's going to do the same unless he's shown up, give his life to the Lord, and really turn his ways around. That's possible. I hope he does. But y'all, I ain't into this thing about adultery. I don't care who it is. I don't play them games. I know what I'm talking about. That's a game I will never amen. Not over here with B Nation. I will never, ever amen adultery. It ain't gonna happen. They should have been very discreet about this. And do I think Narry has all of a sudden changed? No. I think he needs to be mentored by another male that will help him understand that he has now left two broken homes because he doesn't really know how to navigate relationships. No, it not the homes are broken. Because guess what? He's only one person. Now the children have to split all of their time to be with their dad. So now he's responsible for two additional broken homes. Now he has one with Kim. So what? So what's gonna happen now? He's gonna divorce this one, and what they're gonna eventually get married without vetting that situation and saying, okay, so what happened here? So why did you go from one person to the next and then the next person to the next? These things are serious. You cannot ignore behavior. You cannot ignore patterns because you in love. That is ridiculous. It is such a broken mindset. It's such a immature mindset to approach relationships. Love doesn't give you the right not to see things the right way. Listen, I'm praying for Kim because see, the problem is that if so, let's say she gets married to Narry, they fall out, marriage don't, they having marital problems, and he start doing the same thing in her marriage like he did, and get somebody on the side, and then start getting somebody pregnant. Y'all, listen, Kim is an adult and she can do what she wants to do. Here at B Nation, y'all know, like I said, I support Kim, but there's just some things I will not ever support, and that's adultery, and that's messing with other people's husbands. I don't care what he told her. You got to be careful. And technically, she couldn't really hide it because then she got pregnant. So you got pregnant, and the divorce is not even final yet. Even if the estranged wife was giving him a hard time, right? Do I believe that ex-wife is talking to some of them ex-boyfriends? Absolutely. Honey, I don't care what she says. We are all on good terms. Okay, I'm a woman. I know the deal. You talking to somebody. Like I said, I don't know what the dynamic is, but you talking to somebody. Tell that to somebody else. Okay? Tell that to the people that's naive. And this has nothing to do with Boo. I know they're trying to say, oh, she was messing around with this guy when she was with Boo. This is the way. See, and listen to me. There are some people that view this like this, right? And I'm sure they view this like this. Their point is, Kim pointed to Boo. You left me. You filed for a divorce. Then I'm a free woman, and I can do what I want to do. And guess what? I agree with that. Listen to me. I agree with that to a certain extent with her and Narry. I left. I don't want you. Now we're in litigation. We going. The divorce is going through. Thank you so much for that information, Renee. The divorce is going through. And while all that's taking place, I'm moving on. Y'all, I do agree with that to some degree. But when you bring God in, you got to be careful how that looks to other people so your behavior does not hinder other folks. Is what I'm saying. I'm saying this because Kim is saying that she is a Christian and she has more responsibility than just to think about herself. As a Christian, we are to be examples. And what I'm saying is, listen, y'all, I know plenty pastors. I know plenty, even well-known pastors, um, that they were going through a divorce, and they got in, they were involved with, someone else, right? They were going through the process. We know a well-known one, Pastor Sarah and Pastor Teray, Pastor Jakes. He was not divorced with not it was going they were going through the divorce, right? It was apparent that it was over, and they started dating before the divorce was over. And once the divorce was over, they immediately got married, I think like 2 or 3 months after that, right? Okay, like I said, y'all, in some circumstances I understand. Same thing with Pastor Keon and Pastor Shawnee. Given the impression from Pastor Keon is that his estranged wife at the time was given, was trying to drag it out, I guess, so he wouldn't start dating nobody. Now, see, y'all, I'm not talking about people being malicious, and I'm not talking about people having the intention that this thing has been over and they're just going through the process, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you getting a whole baby before this stuff is kind of finalized. You got to be careful as a Christian how that stuff looks, because technically the man is still married. You're committing adultery. Kiva, what did you say? I have to agree. I wish he had thought this one through carefully before entering into it, and we like it, but still taught the truth. Exactly. 100%. You have gone through a terrible relationship that you had to go through therapy for. You cannot enter into another one that comes with baggage. And I'm telling you, y'all, hear me what I tell you. I've been here, I'm almost there 6 decades, not quite yet. I don't think this was a good choice. And so we need to pray for her, because I don't know how this is going to play out. And let me tell you how I know it's not going to play out. I can already tell Narry needs some mentoring as a man. I can tell. I can just tell based on the fact that he got 3 babies from 3 different women, right? Of course, she still wants a marriage. Who gets married and want to go through a divorce like this? Correct. Exactly. I can tell on the thing she still wants it, right? I can tell, but I wouldn't give him the satisfaction to be getting on no YouTube. Wouldn't do it. You left me, baby. I would be out the door. You wouldn't hear from me again. You would wonder what happened to me, and then I'll make arrangements for you to get your son and make sure everything is good. But baby, I would be the last person coming on here trying to say nothing about you, because I wouldn't want you to think, number one, you that important. You important about your kid, and I'm gonna make sure that relationship is good, right? But this nonsense about how she's coming off, you got to be careful about the covenant. Girl, your marriage been over. Y'all might be going through litigation, but that Alicia Kim has nothing to do with the breakdown of their marriage. That's on between her. That's on her and Narry. I'm just saying that as a Christian, she had no business getting involved until that thing was resolved, is what I'm saying. Correct. So only thing I'm just saying, you have to be careful that you, if you gonna say you're a Christian and then you're doing certain things, you got to be careful. I'm not saying, y'all, that there's not exceptions to the rule. What I'm saying that this just doesn't look good, especially when a woman is showing her desire to keep her marriage, and now this other dynamic is here. And the likelihood, if that ever happening, I didn't say she blamed Kim. Okay, so I'm not sure why that comment was made. She didn't blame Kim, or maybe you're just making a statement. I don't want to jump to conclusion, and if I did, I apologize. Yeah, so I know she didn't blame Kim. What I'm saying is that that when you desire to keep your marriage, and now this man has brought a whole nother dynamic into it. I just think God gonna hold all of them responsible. Kim, Narry, and but for different reasons. Narry and Crystal is responsible for the breakdown in their marriage, period. Kim should not have injected herself into that marriage until at least that thing was close to resolved. So to me, it's just not a good look for Kim. That's all I'm saying. It's just not a good look for Kim because she is technically the other woman until this divorce is final. Is what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong, I agree. When you divorce me, when you put the papers in, what I do after that is none of your business. But as Christians, we still have to be careful how we present ourselves. Not out of perfection, but we do have a responsibility to navigate this life in a way that will not cause other people to fall, is what I'm saying. Right, is what I'm saying. And I just don't think this was a good choice. Not with somebody that already have two kids already, and now you're the third baby mama. Narry is not emotionally mature. I can tell. Listen, I don't know this guy, but I can just tell how he moves. This wasn't a good choice. She should have waited. She should have waited to see this through. Because I don't know whether he was married to the first one or this is the second marriage. I don't know whether he was married to the first woman with the I don't know who was first, this Crystal person or the other lady. But did she get any clarity? Why are you flowing like that? Why is it you going from one baby mama to the next? Why is it you with this one you have a baby, with this one you have a baby, then now you with me you having a baby? Was that questioned? Right? Was that question? Why is that your behavior this way? Do you have a male in your life that you are speaking to that's helped mentoring you as a man? Because like I said a few minutes ago, now you got two broken homes. Now he's divorcing this wife. Now that's a broken home. And then whatever the other lady is now is a broken home. And now he's with Kim with this baby. They're not married. So technically that's a broken home. So you one person. Now all three of your children now gotta navigate to split you. Because everybody's not now in the same household. Women and men, we gotta stop choosing situations that puts us and our children in compromising positions, is what I'm saying. So now, we got to be careful. Like I said to y'all, I love Alicia Kim. I wish her well. I think what Boo is doing is egregious, right? Do I think she cheated on Boo? No, I absolutely do not. I think Boo used divorce in a way to try to control her, and it backfired. And she moved on, period. And so he can just cry me a river. I could care less about what he's talking about. He could just cry me a river. He's just upset because she actually moved on. And he just and left him right there. And I would have done the exact same thing. You don't serve me divorce papers twice and then think after you do that, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you as my covering. I'm going to trust you as my protector. That's not how this works. You don't get to take the car away from me, see me walking to the grocery store, and you pass right by me as if I'm not your wife. You will never get another chance with me. That's for sure. So her deciding to not fight that divorce and move on, she absolutely did the right thing. Could she have moved on with Narry? Absolutely. But I think there's a way they should have moved with this, right? I just think there's a certain way they should have moved with this. Because if there was a chance of that marriage working, well, it ain't none now, because now there's a whole nother woman involved with a baby. Y'all see what I'm saying? If there was a chance for them to get back together, well, it ain't no chance now. Right? Because obviously Alicia Kim is what he is. See, that's why this is a sticky situation. That's why I feel some kind of way about it. It is, it's messy. It is. It is. It is. It's messy. See, that's why I feel, because y'all, let me tell you one thing. I'm for marriage now. Let me make this clear. I'm for marriage. And if two people can work it out and get back together and make their marriage work, I think it should happen. Because God will be pleased with that as long as they're getting back in a healthy sense. But now if there's another dynamic with that situation that causing that situation not to happen, that's where I think God is not pleased with. This is a messy situation. And I'm saying to y'all, let us not make the same decision. If you single and you get involved and you date somebody that has been separated, y'all, I don't care if they've been separated 10 years. Why haven't you filed for a divorce yet? And if they haven't, tell them, let me know once you file for divorce, let me see the papers. And even then, we're going to move a certain way. We ain't having no sex. Because single people, you know, if you Christians, you're single, you're not supposed to be having no sex. We ain't having no sex. We ain't nobody getting pregnant. We're going to just move a certain way. But we ain't doing none of that. Because you still married. I'm just saying, y'all, this is not a good look. I wish her well. My heart goes out. I'm gonna be honest with you. My heart goes out to Crystal because I can tell she wants her marriage. And the guy, he's just decided he no longer wants it, and that's okay. He has that right to do so. But he also understands that if they both believe in God and they are Christians, he's gonna have to answer to God and why he divorced his wife, and why he didn't do everything in his power to keep that marriage together. And like the other one, I'm not sure if he married the other one or not. And I'm not sure. But I'm always leery of men with so many mothers and men with so many baby mamas and women with so many baby fathers, because it tells me that there's a pattern there that somehow you can't get. You're not learning. You're not getting the healing that you need to make better decisions, so you won't create broken homes. So what? Narry create 2 broken homes and that's no big deal? What in the world is happening right now, y'all? That's the problem for me. He's grown. He makes whatever decision that he wants to make. At the end of the day, he don't have to answer to any of us. At the end of the day, he has to answer to God. I'm just giving my commentary on it and how I am not one-sided. I am not one-sided. Boo's situation is a totally different situation. He's just going through a mental health crisis right now, and his ego is bruised, and he's just wounded because Kim moved on with a younger man and got a baby. That's his issue, right? And he no longer has control. So what he wants to do, he just wants to destroy it because he's hurt. Now, it seems like me, you've been here 7 decades. You ought to be on the beach somewhere drinking a Coke, living your best life until God call you home. But that ain't what he want to do. He want to get on the internet and make videos and say the same thing over and over as if we didn't hear him the first time. And the stuff just doesn't make any sense. See, but this has nothing to do with Boo. This has to do with Kim making another decision that, y'all, I pray works out in her favor eventually. But based on the pattern, unless it has been dealt with, I think she's gonna find herself in another situation. Maybe not as soon as she thinks, but maybe later on down the road. But I pray that this boy get a mentor and somebody help him mentor him through his life and become a better father and a better spouse for people. Because based on what Crystal said, I can tell he was committing adultery while they were married, and because he didn't leave the house until April 4th of 2024. So if you commit adultery in this marriage and you haven't dealt with why you've done that, because you can't blame your spouse from having an affair. Y'all do know that, right? You do know that if you commit adultery, you can't blame your spouse for that, nor can you blame whatever atmosphere that whatever atmosphere um, that you. In other words, when you commit adultery, that's your choice. You can't blame your spouse for that. Crystal lied. Yeah, Marie, no doubt about it. There's some things I could pick right off. She talking about, yeah, I'm friends with all of my exes. Girl, you talking to, girl, who you think you talking to? Like you could, baby, listen. When she said that, I knew then she was talking to one of them, one or two. I don't know who. I don't know. I can't prove it allegedly, but when she said that, I knew it. And when she tried to make like Maria, when she talked about when she said, well, I'm not sure we were separated or not. Stop it. Like, girl, stop it. You don't know whether you separated or not. When she did that, I knew she wasn't being honest. She's the one who committed adultery. That's what. See, listen, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something about married people. For y'all thinking people who ain't never been married. I was married for 8 years, and I'm divorced. I've been divorced now for almost 14 years. I think it's 14 years. Let me help y'all thinking people who have never been married. She hit the man that was arrested. Correct. Absolutely. And let me tell y'all single people something. Married people are messy. They're not honest. They are living lives with each other because they think somehow because they're in love they don't get to see the truth about each other. And what they will do, they will blame each other for the breakdown of the marriage. No, you both are responsible for the breakdown of your marriage. And what they will do, they will keep pointing the finger so they won't have to deal with themselves. So they'll keep pointing the. I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm telling you what I lived. I'm telling you, married people are just as messy as they can be when it's time for them to split. I thank God that me and my ex-husband did not behave that way. When it was time to file for divorce, guess what we did? Went to the courthouse, fill out the papers, file a divorce, and don't you know that was it? There was no fussing and fighting, carrying on and acting like a fool, blaming this one and this one and this one and this one. What sense did it make? We didn't want to be together, right? So we didn't have to go through all of that. It's unnecessary. All this point, I know the game. Maria, I knew the relationship was over a long time ago. And I knew she wasn't being honest, but what I could tell, she still wanted her marriage. And I'm just saying to y'all, as a person that loves God and that's a Christian, I'm not saying they should stay together because she wants it, but I do think that you should do everything in your will to stay married if you can, if both of you are willing to become healthy. In my situation, that wasn't the case. Everybody has to be willing to be healthy. If you don't want to be healthy, you need to go your separate ways and be back crazy by yourself. But you don't get to stay in marriage and then ruin each other because God is not pleased with that nonsense. That's what I hate to see, is that I could tell that she still wants the relationship, but now there is no chance for it because now he has moved on. But my same issue, Marie, is that Narry needs to be mentored. He's leaving too much of a trail. Y'all can't ignore that. I don't care how much you like Alicia Kim. You can't ignore Narry is leaving a trail. While she was on live, did you know she was on a cruise with her man doing the live? No, really. You see what I'm saying? Listen to me, y'all. I could tell a girl was not being totally honest. I'm a woman. I know that. I could tell a girl wasn't being totally honest. I could tell. I could tell she was not being totally honest, and that she was walking in a certain level of denial, trying to cast some type of light on Alicia Kim. No, baby, you and Narry are back crazy together. Don't try to put Alicia Kim in that. Y'all just back crazy together. You didn't work. Do I think Alicia Kim should have just gotten pregnant and with somebody that was? I wouldn't have done that as a Christian. I wouldn't even have sex with him. That's just me. But because I honor my relationship with the Lord, I honor what Scripture says. But what I'm saying to y'all is that I can tell Crystal wasn't being totally honest, and I can tell that Narry has left a pattern, and I'm very concerned about him and this decision. Sometimes we don't think things through. Children shouldn't be left in broken homes. Yeah, I absolutely listen, Maria. I absolutely believe that Narry is a decent guy. I really do. But that still doesn't mean that he knows how to navigate relationships in the proper way, right? I can just tell how he's left two ladies with children. That you can't disregard it because he's a good guy. He just needs a mentor, right? It doesn't mean that he's not a good guy. He won't do right by Alicia and that kind of stuff. I just think that he needs a mentor to help him understand. Now let this be the last one. And this is how you move in relationships when it comes to when it comes to relationships. This is how you should move as a man of God. That's what I'm saying. She's the one who left the marriage. Yeah, but right. But yet she tried to make like on that interview. He left April 2024. I said this girl here ain't being honest. I could listen, y'all. Let me tell you one thing. I got good discernment. I know the deal. Because let me tell you, all this junk is that she upset because that man done move on and got a whole baby with somebody else. That's her issue, and she deep down don't really want to be divorced. And it's just like who was it that said that? I think it was Leela. No one gets married to want to get a divorce. That's not why I got married. So I can end up in divorce. And that's what I'm saying to y'all. Married people are messy. They don't always tell the whole truth. They don't always tell the whole truth. When she was talking about prove it, I talked to all my exes. I said, that heifer talking to somebody. Who she thinks she talking to? Who she thinks she fooling? I saw right through it. I'm just saying when it comes to how it looks, it doesn't look well for Kim. And Narry needs a mentor. He needs a male in his life, and I'm talking about a godly male, to help him navigate this, so he won't keep leaving trails of broken homes. Is what I'm saying. Correct. Somebody said that she said they was in litigation. Well, that's what she's doing, right? So what she's trying to do, she's trying to put him in a position so he can move on. But see, but that ship has failed, is what she don't. That ship has failed. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Why is she even on? Why is Crystal even inserting herself in this nonsense with them? That's exactly right, Philip. I said the exact same thing. I said that man, she claimed that man left her. What is she on YouTube discussing that? Unless she trying in some way to get back at him. And I'm saying to myself, this interview did not prove anything, but that's just what you're saying. It's always three sides to a story: yours, the husband, and God's. I mean, they're like she gave some major information, as in if anybody that's married or has been married don't see. I mean, I'm like, girl, you ain't saying nothing new. And she ain't saying nothing that any married person that doesn't want to be divorced saying or just saying certain things. That girl was not being honest. But what I'm saying is that as single women, if you are a Christian single woman, don't get involved with married men until they have handled their business. And if you decide that and while the paperwork is going through, be careful and how you present yourself as a Christian in front of people. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Hey, Angela, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying correct. Phyllis, absolutely. Yeah, I thought she absolutely was being met. It was no reason for her to be. Y'all, listen, she's a grown woman. She can get on a YouTube channel and do what she want to do. But what I'm saying, it was no need for her to comment on that situation. Especially they going through litigation. You getting a divorce. It doesn't matter that you still want your man. He doesn't want you. You don't desire people. Okay, listen to me. I'm not saying you don't have feelings for him. I need to separate that too. You don't. It's unhealthy to desire people that don't want you. I'm not saying you don't still have feelings for them. I'm saying it's unhealthy for you still to desire somebody that does not want you. The minute you don't want me is already a turn off. I still might have feelings for you, but baby, trust me, I'll get over it. But this is just, y'all, when you're dealing with men that are in that's going through a divorce, you have to be careful in how it looks and how it comes off. Like I said, I love Kim, but I think I think Narry is a great guy. Based on what some of these people are saying, seems like he's a great guy. But great doesn't mean that you have the skill sets to know how to navigate relationships and that you don't create broken homes. There's a way to handle things. And I think we get that. My prayer is that he gets a mentor. Correct. Well, yeah, I think that's what because she was coming off on the interview as in applying the other baby mama. But was he married to that? Who was married? Was he married to the first baby mama or she the first baby mama? Marie, Marie, let me show Marie. I love this. She should. I love that. I love it. So this is that's what Chris Marie said. She should hook up with Boo because they are the same. Yes, they. It made no sense. I was looking at the interview. Why are you even in this, Boo? I wouldn't even. Ooh, I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. Baby, I wouldn't even call your name. Mm-mm. So how is Kim the problem with the baby mother when they were prior to her they were entangled? Okay, so how is Kim the problem with the baby mother? Kim is not the problem when it comes to the baby mother. What the baby mother is trying to do is trying to make like Kim shouldn't have inserted herself in the marriage. But what Krista didn't understand, her marriage was way over before Kim even got involved in it with her estranged husband. So I'm not sure why she's trying to shift that. My issue with Kim. Oh, okay. My issue. Let me tell you what I'm very concerned about. Kim is a Christian, y'all. That is just not a title, right? No, Leela, Krista did say, listen to very careful. Now you go listen to that interview she had on Run Ram, the truck interview. She said you have to be careful. She didn't call Kim's name, but now, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. She said, you have to be careful because covenant is serious and it shows people character. Who else do you think she was talking about? She was talking about Kim inserting herself into a marriage. And my whole point was Kim ain't responsible for the breakdown of your marriage. You are. And Narry. I'm just saying, as a Christian, I wouldn't have gotten pregnant from somebody that was still married. No. That's not who she was probably talking. No. Go back and listen to it. No, he was not married the first time. Okay, so he was not married the first time. See, y'all, listen to me. See, listen. He was not married the first time. That woman has a kid. He gets married, right? And then he has a kid with her, right? Whatever the dynamic was into that relationship, either or. What I'm saying to y'all, there is still a pattern, right? There's still, this one got a baby. This one got a baby. Now you with someone else would have a baby. What I'm saying is that he has to be more careful. He can't keep producing babies, right? And not settle down enough to be a good dad and to be a good husband is what I'm saying. Correct. Yep, Phyllis, absolutely. Y'all, let me show you what Phyllis said. What I'm saying is that Narry and Krista is responsible for the breakdown of their marriage. What I'm saying as a Christian, I need y'all to hear me. As a Christian, you have to be careful in what you get yourself involved in. Because how it is presented to the world. Our life is not our own. We just don't get to live it however we want to and say I'm grown, not as a Christian. If you're a mature Christian, you understand that part of your responsibility is to live a life that is pleasing to the Lord. And what I'm saying, y'all, you got to be careful about covenant because God doesn't see it the way that we see it. That's all I'm saying. I think they should have navigated this very differently. Kim and Narry. I wouldn't have had a baby. Not at that point. I wouldn't. Some things, y'all, is better resolved before you start dumping other things on it. Mona, that's what I'm saying. And if you do that's Mona, that's what I'm saying. Let me put what Mona said. What I'm saying, y'all, I'm not talking just out of my head. I'm talking from experience. You know how you live and you learn. You know how you live and you learn. Y'all understand when you live and you learn. In other words, all of us don't have to go through the same thing. Why? What's the point of that? You can just listen to somebody that didn't walk through it. That's not a good idea. There's an alligator down that road. Don't go there. And only thing I'm saying is what Mona Speaks is saying. I wouldn't have gotten into a relationship with a married man, especially with the situation she was in. And that's what see, this is what I'm saying to y'all. Y'all, I need y'all to, exactly. What I need y'all to take your emotions out of this. And I need you to see it for what it is as a Christian. Right? Just as a Christian, take your emotions. I love Alicia. I will always have her back when it comes to these, especially when it comes to Boo. But this wasn't a good decision to get pregnant by somebody that was still married and that's going through a messy divorce. I'm not saying they couldn't have been friends. I'm just saying they should have navigated it differently. And I think they both need to be mentored, is what I'm saying. You don't get that many baby mamas, and you don't need to be mentored. It doesn't mean he's not a good man. Take your feelings out of it and look at it from the perspective of the children. Their daddy's not going to be there 24/7 because now you got 3 baby mamas. His time has to be split. So now there's broken homes, is what I'm saying. There's a proper way to navigate that situation. Correct. And the only thing I'm saying, this was not the proper way to navigate this situation. Because now she's dealing with somebody else with a pattern. And if there's not a male in his life to help him navigate this, y'all, the likelihood he would do the same thing. Because based on what the information I'm getting here, she was a cheater and he was a cheater. There's a seriousness in covenant. You don't get married to hoe around and then blame your partner because you fell. I ain't never seen nobody take out their stuff and fell into somebody's vagina. Have y'all ever seen that? I ain't never seen nobody's vagina just fell on somebody a penis, right? You have to plan it. You have to take off your clothes. You got time to think, right? Exactly. And that's why I'm saying we need to pray for mentors for them. They both need mentors. 100%. They need mentors, especially Narry, because he's the male. And you got to remember, to some degree, Kim thinks this normal because she said her mother has been with the same guy for 18 years. I didn't get the impression that they were married. So she may think there is nothing wrong with it. But y'all, if you're gonna claim to be Christians, you need to honor God's word. I'm not talking about perfection. None of us are. We're gonna fail. We're gonna fall. We're gonna do things we don't have no business. But to the best of our ability, we need to follow God, so He can protect us. So He can protect us. He ain't just giving it just to get it. It's a protection for us, because we're not smart enough to know what's coming down the road all the time. I think Narry and Alicia are good people. I just think they lack the understanding what it takes for a relationship to properly work. And if he doesn't get the mentorship that he needs, I think she's going to find herself in the situation just about to be ex-wife, is what I'm saying to y'all. That's all I'm saying. Exactly. Mona, 100%. That's what I'm saying. I've had to experience y'all, listen, I get it. I'm not saying it is a total no. What I'm saying is that if you meet somebody that's going through a divorce, you all need, and you're Christians, there is a proper way to handle that situation. You cannot get romantically involved. You have to remain friends until this stuff is cleared up. You got to be careful. What about the 4th child that's allegedly about to be born by another woman? I know you kidding me. Hold up. Wait a minute. Can somebody tell me? Wait, who? Narry? Of course, Maria, we don't know the full story because yes, she did. She never said she was a Christian. Yes, she did. Did she have faith in God? It's the thing. That yeah. What about the fourth child that's allegedly about to be born by another woman? So someone saying that's a lie. Yes, but Narry, somebody saying that's a lie. So y'all, we won't put that out. We don't know whether that's true or not. So if she has faith in God, she's proclaiming she's proclaiming that she's a Christian. Um, for for uh, um, for the most part, and I think Kim has already, and I think Kim has actually said the word Christian. So uh, most of the time when people say they believe in God, and this most of the time now. I've never heard Kim went to a Christian church. She showed us on the videos when she was in Florida. So she's a Christian. And the only thing I'm saying was a Christian, they believe in God, they believe in God's word. So even if you don't want to call her Christian, she has faith in God. Well, if she got faith in God, she got faith in his word. And you have to honor that, is what I'm saying. So it's allegedly that this guy has another one, but we don't know. Okay, so we hopefully that's not true. So I would say to you guys, just we need to pray for both of them, and we need to pray for the children and all of them, that Krista child and the other one, because they won't get the full of their dad. No, God is not. God doesn't choose divorce. I agree. God just don't be telling me, yeah, let's everybody just get divorces. No, like I said, if it's within our power to keep the marriage together and both people want to do right and be healthy and come back together, then most definitely I think you need to be staying together if you're willing to make it work. But now if you pulling knives after me and trying to hurt me, we ain't gonna stay. Mm-mm. God cares more about the two people in the marriage. The two people in the marriage is who he died for. He died for the two people in the marriage. And if you pulling out knives and trying to kill me, we ain't a good fit. I can tell you that right now. It's over. Ain't gonna be that kind of death do us part. It's gonna be another kind. But it ain't gonna be that. Now you ain't gonna try to, you ain't pulling no knife on me and think I'm gonna stay with you. Baby, because you crazy. Yeah, uh-huh. That's exactly right, Mona. Right, right, correct. Except for adultery, you can, God gives you an out. But even with that, you know how I feel about that. If you can work through it, work through it. If at all possible, if you can stay together, stay. But I'm just saying, you got it, y'all. Single people. I ain't talking about y'all people that's already married. Y'all already married. Single people, do better choices. Don't get yourself romantically involved with somebody that's married. Let them walk through that process. Because if y'all you can wait another year or two. I mean, being together, if being together is a good idea, it'll be a good idea 2 years from now. If being together is a great idea, it'll be a good idea a year from now. You ain't gotta jump and do all of that. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just saying. I just think this is just not a good, mm, it's not a good look. I'm just saying, as you believe in God, you're a Christian, then you believe in the scriptures. Be careful in how you navigate your life in this world so you don't make nobody else fall and make people think sin is okay. Sin is never okay. God is not for adultery. God is not for fornication. And God is not you inserting yourself into other people's marriages that could possibly be saved. That's why I said it's not a totally hard no. Just make sure you know how to navigate that situation. The romantic, you can't get romantically involved with somebody else's husband. You need to wait till that divorce is final. Even Pastor Keon and Shani talked about that. That they video FaceTime and they were just friends. He was going through a divorce. And he said he wasn't going to get it, but at the same time, he also said that ex-wife was trying to hold it up so he wouldn't move on. See, y'all got to consider the circumstances, but there's a way to handle it. Right. So, come on, y'all. So, only thing I'm saying that I want to, y'all know over here in B Nation, we love Kim. But, baby, I don't fool over God. Nobody comes before God. I don't play with that. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. You don't want to fool with that, baby. God trying to protect us. That's the reason why he tell you don't fool with them. You see what I'm saying? I don't want my marriage to end either. No one took my husband. He just didn't. You got to be two healthy people willing and wanting to remain married. You know that you can't force nobody to be married to you and treat you well. And the only thing I'm saying to you, God cares about God died for the two people in the marriage. So we have to pray for Alicia, and I just think they need mentors, is what I'm saying. I think they need mentors, and I think this thing can go right if they get godly mentors and help them navigate this. Y'all, I don't like broken homes, and I can't stand adultery, although I understand it. I get it. No judgment here. You won't get no judge, but there's accountability for that stuff, and you got to take the responsibility for the decision that you make. So I'm not somebody here just talking. I know what I'm talking about. So we gotta be smart with our decision. I just want to give because when I saw that interview, I was like, man, this girl thinks she talking to. Some of the stuff I can see right through. She lying. Some of the things, nah, you ain't telling the whole truth, boo. Mm-mm. You ain't telling the whole truth. Mm-mm. I could tell that right off the rip. So y'all, I just want to give my 2 cents. Y'all go have a lovely day. I got to be back to work at 5 o'clock. So I'm going to get me some lunch, and I will see y'all later. But y'all know I had to come on and comment about that interview. Thought it was very interesting. Y'all have a great one. I always appreciate B Nation coming on. I always appreciate y'all, y'all the way y'all see it, y'all the way y'all process it, the way y'all look at it. I may not always agree with the way you look at it, but I love when y'all have your own critical thinking and the way you see it. I think it's beautiful, for sure, because we all have the right to see this thing a certain way. Correct. Now I totally agree. That I totally agree. There's no going around it. I love Kim, but all this happening now is self-inflicted. I totally agree. Now, Boo is a whole nother different story. But this situation here, this on Kim and her decision. But we're praying for her, and I wish them the best. I really do. Y'all have a great one, and I will see you guys on a little later. All right, bye bye.